Okay, so I know that I have a YouTube video about organization. And I know that several people have probably watched it. Maybe some of you have, maybe some of you haven't. I've also shared some tips and tricks that are in the group chats and the group pages and stuff like that. But I've evolved, okay? So that's what this business is about, is just like trial and error, okay? So you're gonna have like people come and go. You're going to have different techniques that you use at one point, but you don't use at the next point. You're going to learn a lot, and you're going to, your organization is going to change. The way that you word things is going to change. The way that you post is going to change. And that's the best part about this business, is just being coachable and learning that there are several different ways that people do it. And you just got to find what works best for you. So what I want to do is I want to share with you exactly how I organize and what helps me do my follow-ups every single month, as well as signing distributors and loyal customers and stuff like that. But I want to make sure that everybody's kind of on the same page, because I know that organization can be tricky, especially if you're like a blue. Blues, they have a hard time sometimes. I've seen it happen. And so I want to kind of give you some tips and tricks on how to knock that out right off the bat. Okay. So the first thing that I do, I used to have one notebook. Okay. And this notebook would have like 5 different sections in it, but I've kind of switched that up, and I've changed it, because I find that works best for me is having things separated. And if I have things all crumbled together and I don't have a lot of space to write in, like how the 5 subject notebooks, they only have a certain amount of space in them, and then you're done. So I like to keep them completely separated at this point. And so what I do is I have a notebook specifically for potential loyal customers, and it's blue. So that's a color that goes off in my head whenever I think of, okay, I need to write down a potential loyal customer. That's my blue notebook. I know that because it's taken me a while, but I've memorized it. Okay. And so I have a notebook specifically for that. And then I have a notebook that is black, and I call it my black book, not little black book because it's pretty big, but that's specifically for potential distributors. Okay. And I like this idea because it gives you a lot of pages. You get so many pages out of it. And so you can really, just go for it as far as writing the potentials down, and you don't have to worry about running out of space and having to switch notebooks and stuff like that. Okay. So I have these 2 specific notebooks that I use that are completely separated. And I used to have in my 5 subject notebook, I had like several different ways of organizing, like several different categories of organizing. But when I really took a step back and I thought about it, and I said, our job is so simple. Why make it more complicated with organization? Why not just have your notebook for your potential customers, your notebook for your potential distributors, and then I'll teach you the other ways on how I organize too. So when it comes to my potential loyal customers, I wrote this down specifically so I could show you guys without showing like all my potentials. But this is how I do it, okay? And I number these. And so what I did was, on this side, I number how many. Yes, this is just a continuation of how many I actually have. But I figured I didn't want to waste a piece of paper. I don't know. I'm just like that. But I have my potential loyal customers lined up right here. Okay. And then when I look over to this side, this is the goal that we talked about. And then I have the product that we talked about. So say we talked about losing weight, but specifically we talked about TFX and fat fighters. I write that there. And then say like if someone is pregnant and I find out about their pregnancy or something like that, I will write down right at the beginning of that in parentheses, pregnant with like their due date. So I know when they can start using the TFX and fat fighters and stuff like that. And then like I also know what to follow up with them about, so that I don't have to go back to our conversation and scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll and try to figure out exactly what I talked to them about. I just look at this and it's right there for me. I know exactly what we talked about. I know exactly, when, the product that we talked about. I know a little bit about them if they give me like a little bit of information, or if they tell me like when they get paid. I'll write down next to that when they usually get paid. So if they get paid on Fridays, I'll write down next to it, gets paid on Fridays, so that I know that I can follow up with them on Fridays. And that way I can be there when they get their paycheck, so that I know that I can help them before they spend all their money, right? So that's what I do for that, for potential loyal customers. And then potential distributors, I do something very, very similar. It's the same exact thing. I put the potential distributor's name right here. And then on this side, I jot down things about them. And so these are things that I learned through like conversation, like if they have like kids, or if they are working 2 jobs, or if they, you know, if they have a goal and they tell me a goal, I'm going to write that goal down, because when I go to write them, I'm going to remind them of that goal just by saying, hey, how's it going? How's it coming along? Or, you know, just mentioning it to them about, you know, I know you said that you wanted extra money to help pay for your kids' school clothes this year. And then I want to kind of read that. Yeah, PDT and PLC, I wrote that because they're going to be in 2 separate notebooks, okay? But I wrote that so I could cover it up like this and say, okay, PLCs, this is the notebook that's PLCs. It'll be the same thing in this notebook, but I didn't want to write it on the other page, right? So that's why I wrote that, Erica. So with my potential distributor list, that's what I'll do, is I'll write down the potential distributor, and then I'll go ahead and I'll write down things that we have talked about. And, you know, that way I know a little bit about them, so that I'm not asking them the same exact questions over and over and over again and not having a clue who this person is. And so it really allows you to build a relationship. And I mean, I know for a fact if someone were to reach out to me and they mentioned something that I had already mentioned to them, that lets me know that they were actually listening to me when I told them. And so that's why it's really important to kind of get to know people, but at the same exact time, write it down so you remember it. So it's a lot simpler for you, okay? So I'm gonna put these aside just for a second. So my next thing that I do to organize, I have the It Works calendar. You don't have to have the It Works calendar. This is something that I scooped up when it was on sale. But I like this calendar specifically because of the style inside of it. And it really fits what we do because it schedules by days, not just the month. And so if you can look for a calendar that has the actual days, whether it be an It Works calendar or whatever calendar you find at Walmart, they got them pretty cheap there. But when you're looking at this, okay, I'm just going to show you this real quick. So this is all the days and everything that people are scheduled, okay? So every single girl that I've enrolled in this right now, you've been on this at some point. You've probably been on this several times, because it normally says if someone's not like 100% going to join, if I have any doubt whatsoever, I don't write, you know, if you look up with, let's see, who joined today? Karina, okay? Karina, you see how she has a circle around her and it says DT? I do that for my own sake because I know that Karina is going to join today. She is dead set. She's either given me her info or she is a solid potential, okay? If someone says, I'll get back to you on Tuesday, that's when I get paid, that's when I'll write things like follow up with Karina on this day, and I'll put DT on it, but I will not circle it. So that's how I keep it in my head, how to organize it. And then same with potential loyal customers. So if I have a potential loyal customer, I'm just going to do this because I'm going to cover up this last name. But if you're looking right here, okay, so I've got this girl named Alicia. She's supposed to order today. I've already contacted her. I do this bright and early in the morning, okay? Best time to do your follow-ups, bright and early in the morning. If you've got a full-time job, wake up early, get them done. It takes 2 seconds to send messages to 10 people about either getting started, asking them, you know, what time works best for them today, or telling them that you're placing a few orders in the morning. ask them if they're ready right now, you know, something simple like that. That's how I do my follow-ups. So if you look right here, it says her name, and then I put underneath it with a dash with the product that she's going to be ordering that day. So that if we had a long conversation, I don't have to I don't have to scroll through our conversation like crazy to see what I had actually talked to her about or see what she actually wanted to order. And so I do that. And then when I am doing my follow-ups, I just send them a quick, simple message in the morning. So when I woke up today, I looked at my Tuesday. Like right when I got out of bed, I came out, I looked at my Tuesday, and I went right down the list of people. And I just followed up with every single one of them. And I said, hey girl, you know, I'm getting ready to place some orders this morning, or I'm really excited for you to get started today. What time works best for you to join me? Boom, that's a follow-up, done. And you can do those wicked simple in the morning, and that way you know who to go by. And then if they actually get started, I haven't done this yet today, but if they actually get started, I put a check mark next to their name because they actually got started. If they do not get started, all of these people go onto my Friday list, and I follow up with them that Friday. And so that's how I stay organized. Sometimes you see how like my Friday right now, it's packed full. So sometimes I do have to take a piece of paper and put Fridays, and then I put it right in my calendar so I can have all my Friday people right there. And I just put follow up with on Friday, follow up with on Friday. And then I put exactly what I'm following up with them for, okay? Another good thing about getting a notebook that's like this, usually they have a spot that has notes in it on every single page, okay? So this is what I did for this. I'm going to show you this because Karina's already signed with me, okay? She's already gotten started. She's already started all of her stuff. And so I put my goal, all right? My goal this month is to get 10 distributors, all right? With this deal going on right now, 10 distributors is not hard to do because they are all half off, every single one of them, okay? So every single person that signs with me this month is going to get put on this list. And so I know as a leader who I'm going to be following up with every single day for the next, you know, month or two. And so I know exactly who is running and who's working. And I can keep track of my girls that come onto my team or guys. So I do that, and I put my goal because you know what? That keeps it right in front of me. I know for a fact that I want 10 distributors this month, and I know that I want to help 10 people. And so I keep it right in front of me, and I know that this whole calendar has to be completely filled every single day to make that happen. And so that keeps it right fresh in front of me. So that's why I like the big calendars. It's totally up to you if you want to go with a big calendar. If you have a different way that you like to do it, totally fine. Just my this is just the way that I do it. And then when it comes to when you're signing loyal customers, okay, what I used to do is I had a space in my 5 subject notebook, and I would write down, you know, the loyal customer that signed with me. I would number them. But I found myself running out of space really, really fast, like really fast. And so what I did, sorry, I have the hiccups really bad. What I did was I came up with a system that April Jennings had actually done a video call on. It was like a Zoom or a training or something that she had talked about. It might even be in Diamond Divas. You might be able to even look it up. But I came up with something that's very similar to hers, and so I have note cards. How many of you guys currently like use note cards for your loyal customers? I know I think I have a couple people, but such a good idea. Such a good idea. They are literally, I got this at Dollar Tree. If you guys don't have a Dollar Tree around you, like any type of dollar store, you probably even get it at Walmart. You can get a huge pack of these for like $1. And so that's what I did. I went out and I got them. And what I do with these, okay, is I have all my potential loyal customers. And if you look, okay, the front ones are all loyal. blank note cards. And what I like to do is I'll take a note card when I sign someone, and I'll start out by putting the it says potential's name, but this should be loyal customer's name. I don't know why I wrote that. I was just right in the middle of stuff, but it should be your loyal customer's name. And then I put the password, because if you're placing their order for them, you're going to choose their password. You're going to want to remember it, because it's going to be very convenient for them to reach out to you and say, hey, Chelsea, I'd like to switch my order. Like, I have a girl that's literally in my inbox right now. She's waiting for me to put in 2 orders of Fat Fighters. So what I'm going to do when I do it is I'm going to pull out her card, and I'm going to say, okay, she wants Fat Fighters. So then I'm going to add it to her card. So I know exactly what she has ordered, and I know exactly, you know, what she switched to. So I know in the future, if she says to me, Fat Fighters didn't really do much for her and she wasn't really interested, I know not to offer the Fat Fighters to her again. And I know that I can offer her something different. Or say she tried the old cleanse and she liked it, then I can say, okay, she tried the old cleanse and she liked it. So I can go ahead and I can offer her that new cleanse. And so what I do is I put the loyal customer name at the top, and then I put the password that I chose for her. If she placed her order for herself, I just put NA right next to it, because that lets me know that she did it herself. So if she is interested in getting like help with switching her product or something like that, I then know that I need to direct her verbally on how to do it through like Facebook Messenger, wherever I'm talking to her on. Then I put the date that she ordered, okay? This is awesome, because then you know how many months she has to go before her 3 months is up. And so you can organize them in your little keepsake thing, so that you can organize them so that you can see whose 3-month auto shipment is coming up and who you need to talk to about trying a new product or going for another 3 months so they can get a $50 shopping spree, or mentioning to them about whatever. And then I put the product that they tried, and sometimes it might be a couple, sometimes it might be one, you know, and then I put the bonus volume that they have, that they're bringing onto my chart that month, okay? So then, and their ID number, of course, because say someone comes to you, right, and they're like, I'd like to switch my product, or you're going to look at their, I don't know, CC decline or something like that, or anything really, but you need to look up their ID number really fast. And you don't want to search through your tree viewer, right? Especially if you have tons of loyal customers. You just want to be able to pull their card out, look at their ID number, and you can go search it in your tree viewer to see exactly what they've placed orders with, what has gone through, when they've placed them, such and such, stuff like that, okay? So this is what I do. And then how I organize it is I put it in order of the date. And so this is the date that that they ordered. And so I start out with the very first of the month. And I put all the first of the month, and then all the second of the month, and then all the third of the month, all the way till we get to the end of the month. And I keep them in order. And the reason, and then sometimes I'll take like a colored one and I'll put it in between it. Sometimes I'll fold one in half. Like I'll fold one in half so that it keeps kind of organized in the middle of it. Or you can get one of those 3-tier holders for note cards if you have a desk or a designated spot. I don't have a designated spot. I literally work anywhere as I want to in my house. So I keep them in this little container. This goes everywhere with me if I'm around the house and stuff like that. So I organize it by who I'm following up with first to who I'm following up with last of the month. And what I do is I do it a week at a time. So like this month, you know, you've got your first week of the month. It started on a Monday. And so that means by Sunday, it's going to be the 7th. So you're going to want to follow up at the end of June. You're going to want to follow up with 1 through 7. And your follow-up can be so simple. Just reaching out to see how you like your product. Let me know what your progress is looking like right now and how I can help you even more. Boom, that's a good follow-up right there. You can also follow up when product. So say we just got that new product that we just got, you could go down, write down your list of potential loyal customers and just go boom, 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 done, done, done. You can go right down your list and you can write them the same exact, you know, message about the product or whatever you want to do. And that way you can keep them in order. And then if someone orders, you can go, okay, this person ordered, and I'm going to write down what date they ordered, what product they ordered, and what volume they brought onto it. And then that also works for when someone cancels their auto shipment, you can put at the top of it, I do have a couple that are like that, but you can put at the top of it, no auto shipment or something like that. That's really simple. And that way you know that that BV is no longer coming onto your chart. So it's really, really simple as far as organization. And doing your follow-ups and stuff like that is really, really important. So staying really organized is super important. And then when it comes to like your books, your potential loyal customers and potential distributors list, when someone orders from you, you can just cross their name off, or you can put a check mark next to them, or you can highlight it, however works best for you. It's literally going to be like trial and error, but this is what I found so far that works best for me personally. I have a very red personality. I'm very like go, 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 go. So these books, the potential books, come with me everywhere. Like everywhere as I go, I bring them. Whereas like if I sign like a loyal customer, this wouldn't go with me. I would just screenshot it. And then when I get home, that's when I would take the card out and I write down all my loyal customers that I enrolled while I was out and about. All right. As far as events and stuff like that, events or trainings, for example. Okay. I have a whole separate one, but you don't have to if you don't want to. You can put it right on your big calendar. So you can put that right on your big calendar, but I have my own little planner that has like different days and tells me what trainings at what time. So if you have a hard time remembering the trainings or showing up to the trainings because you completely forgot or whatever, or you forgot what the ID number was, or you forgot, you know, if there was an event happening at this time that you wanted to go to, I definitely recommend getting yourself a little side calendar, or just using your or just using your actual big calendar that you use for your potential loyal customers as well. All right. So I'm gonna go check the comments because I know I saw a couple things. If you have any questions, put them in there now. But I can't see anything without these. So. Oh no, it was just the last thing that Erica said. All right, so that's as far as organization. That's exactly what I do. That's how I stay on top of things. That's something that I've learned over the course of becoming a diamond. And as now that I am diamond, it makes so much sense and it's so much simpler than what I was trying to do before. And so I want to make sure I got this out to you guys, make sure that you see, you know, what I'm doing as a diamond leader. And I'm also going to put this on YouTube, so you can go ahead and check that out there and share it with your teams or anyone who wasn't here, okay? So I'll talk to you guys later. I hope you guys have a great night.